The space race refers to the intense competition between the United States and the Soviet Union during the Cold War era to achieve significant milestones in space exploration and technology. This rivalry spanned from the late 1950s to the early 1970s and was a significant aspect of the broader Cold War conflict between the two superpowers. Key events and achievements during the space race include Sputnik 1, 1957. The Soviet Union launched the world's first artificial satellite, Sputnik 1, on October 4, 1957. This marked the beginning of the space age and caught the United States off guard. Yuri Gagarin's flight, 1961. Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin became the first human to orbit the Earth on April 12, 1961, aboard the Vostok 1 spacecraft. Alan Shepard's suborbital flight, 1961. Less than a month after Gagarin's flight, American astronaut Alan Shepard became the first American in space, making a suborbital flight on May 5, 1961, aboard the Freedom 7 spacecraft. John F. Kennedy's Moon Challenge, 1961. In a speech to Congress on May 25, 1961, President John F. Kennedy set the ambitious goal of sending an American astronaut to the moon and back before the end of the decade. Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo programs. The United States developed a series of space programs to achieve Kennedy's goal. The Mercury program, 1961 to 1963, focused on manned suborbital and orbital flights. The Gemini program, 1965 to 1966, focused on developing techniques for space rendezvous and extravehicular activity (EVA), and the Apollo program, 1961 to 1972, aimed to land astronauts on the moon. Apollo 11 moon landing, 1969. On July 20, 1969, Apollo 11 astronauts Neil Armstrong and Edwin Buzz Aldrin became the first humans to set foot on the moon, while Michael Collins orbited above in the command module. Soviet lunar program. The Soviet Union had its own lunar program, which included the successful robotic missions Luna 2, 1959, Luna 9, 1966, and Luna 16, 1970, which achieved various milestones in lunar exploration, including soft landings and sample return. Space station development. The Soviet Union launched the first space station, Salyut 1, in 1971. The United States developed the Skylab space station, 1973 to 1974, and later collaborated with multiple countries on the International Space Station, ISS, a habitable orbital outpost launched in 1998. End of the space race. The space race effectively ended with the Apollo 17 mission in 1972. The United States had achieved Kennedy's goal of landing humans on the moon. The Soviet Union continued its space program but did not attempt another manned lunar landing. The space race led to significant advancements in space technology, science, and engineering. It also had geopolitical implications, serving as a demonstration of technological prowess and ideological superiority during the Cold War. Despite the rivalry, it ultimately paved the way for international cooperation in space exploration, as seen with collaborations on the ISS and other joint projects in subsequent years.